Now let's talk some politics. The First Lady was the headliner at tonight's Republican National Convention. And Melania Trump was among three members of the president's family who addressed the nation this evening.
That's right, and KCO 9 political reporter Tom Waite joins us now with more on the second night of the Republican National Convention. Tom.
Hi there, Chris and Pat. Well, at times the convention conveyed optimism and hope, but for most of it, barely a mention of the pandemic or the economic crisis. In fact, some speakers glossed over it or portrayed a totally different reality. But the First Lady, Melania Trump, spoke passionately about the virus and appeared to try and connect with everyday Americans. Tonight, First Lady Melania Trump appearing in the newly renovated White House Rose Garden, breaking norms once again by using the White House as a campaign stage. Mrs. Trump trying to sell the nation on a second term for her husband.
I know I speak for my husband and the entire family when I say we have not forgotten the incredible people who were willing to take a chance on the businessmen who had never worked in politics.
Mrs. Trump trying to paint a picture of a president who cares about a nation reeling from a pandemic.
I want to acknowledge the fact that since March, our lives have changed drastically. The invisible enemy, COVID-19, swept across our beautiful country and impacted all of us. My deepest sympathy goes out to everyone who has lost a loved one. And my prayers are with those who are ill or suffering.
More Trump family members took the stage tonight. Eric and Tiffany Trump. Tiffany Trump echoed her father's attacks on news and information.
People must recognize that our thoughts, our opinions, and even the choice of who we are voting for may and are being manipulated.
Our movement followed the pattern of so many that came before us. First, we were ignored. Then we were laughed at. Then they fought us, and then together we won.
The most controversial speaker of the evening was Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who broke nearly 75 years of tradition by speaking at the convention. Secretary Pompeo used Jerusalem as his backdrop.
Just 2 weeks ago, the president brokered a historic peace deal between Israel and the United Arab Emirates. This is a deal that our grandchildren will read about in their history books.
Pompeo recently sent cables to American diplomats around the world, warning them to avoid taking overt sides in the presidential campaign. But the RNC is defending Pompeo's appearance, saying the convention, not the taxpayers, paid for the production of the speech. Democrats are now opening a congressional investigation.
Without life, there can be no liberty.
Tonight, the GOP focused on hot-button cultural issues like abortion, immigration, and crime. The president made an unprecedented move of using his pardon powers during this political event to pardon John Ponder, a convicted bank robber who turned his life around and now runs a nonprofit that helps inmates.
Now I'd like to invite John's wife, Jamie, to join us as I grant John, I'm not sure you know this, a full pardon.
My hope for America is that formerly incarcerated people will be afforded the opportunity to take advantage of the fact that we live in a nation of second chances.
The president even staged a naturalization ceremony.
You've earned the most prized, treasured, cherished, and priceless possession anywhere in the world. It's called American citizenship.
Among the headliners tomorrow night, Vice President Mike Pence and counselor to the president Kellyanne Conway, who is leaving the White House amid intense family drama. Chris, Pat, back to you.
All right, Tom, thank you.